Is awakening for you? Here are 3 questions you can ask yourself to discern whether awakening, sometimes called spiritual awakening, is something you're genuinely interested in, something you want to work toward or engage. The first question to ask yourself is, what is the most important thing to me in this life right now? When you ask this question, you may get answers like my family, my relationships, my kids, my career. And of course, these are all very reasonable. We love the people we're emotionally connected to. They're important to us. Some of us would say a career is very important to us, or our passion or art, for instance. All of these are very valuable. But if there's something else in addition, or even something else that stands out beyond all of those values in your life, all of those important aspects of your life, such that you can't look away from it. You can't ignore it anymore. You can't distract yourself and pretend it's not tugging at you. Even if you don't know exactly what it is. It may feel something like a deeper truth, your true identity, something in your immediate experience that's ineffable, indefinable, but doesn't feel completely clear yet. And it may be a question like, who am I? Who am I actually? What is this all about, really? Not intellectually or conceptually, but in real immediate experience. Then that's a good sign you're interested in waking up. Now, sometimes people will say, this is the most important thing to me, for sure. Waking up or awakening is the most important thing in my life. And this is something I hear from people who have families, kids, jobs, relationships, etc. And they take care of their responsibilities. These are good family people. And yet something in them knows that even all of those aspects of life, of themselves, of their livelihood, are in some way contingent upon this deeper knowing of yourself, this deeper knowing of your undivided truth. The willingness to admit that, at least to yourself, is tremendously valuable, because there's a lot of social conditioning that would say you shouldn't speak like that. You shouldn't prioritize anything above your loved ones, for instance. But if you're really honest with yourself, and that is the answer, this, whatever it is that I've been somehow circling around but never quite going into the middle of for many years, this is what's most important to me, then you're in a good place. That's probably the most important question, or the most important aspect of your experience to feel into. It's probably the most common thing I sort of look for in people when I'm trying to discern how serious they are about awakening, how direct I can be. Another thing you should ask yourself is this the right time for me? There are situations where this is very important, or the most important thing, but something in you just knows it's not quite the right time. Sometimes it has to do with your family, your kids, or where you are in your career. Something just tells you that not yet. It's here, I will address it, but maybe in a few years. So that's an important thing to consider as well. Now, if you have the feeling that you're just not ready right now, that's okay. But you can always ask another question. Is there fear here? Because sometimes we'll talk ourselves out of something out of fear. Now, when we ask these types of questions to our deeper instincts, we often get very good answers. Good answers meaning honest answers. Something in you knows whether you're avoiding something through fear or whether the timing really isn't right now. And the most authentic thing you can do is take care of whatever your other responsibilities are. So the second question can be very helpful. Is this the right time for this, for me? And the third question to ask yourself, which perhaps I should have put this first. In retrospect, it would have made more sense to ask this first, but somewhere along the line, it's important to ask yourself, what do I think awakening actually is? What do I want to get out of it? What do I think it will give me? Now, when you ask these types of questions, there's no right or wrong answer, but it's very helpful to be very clear on what you think this is about, what you think it will give you, where you think it will take you. After asking these questions, just put them on the shelf. Don't judge yourself for the answers. Don't judge yourself for your motivations, even if there are competing agendas. Rather, start to dig in to a resource that you feel is clearly pointing you to the flavor of awakening. There are many resources out there. This channel's full of direct pointing that should give you a flavor of what awakening's about. Or a good book like The Power of Now, or my book called Awake, It's Your Turn. Engage the process through a direct route like that. Get a flavor, get a taste, get a sense of what is actually on the plate, what's coming if you engage this process fully right now. Sense into it. And from there, you'll be able to weigh the beliefs about what you think awakening is going to give you, the ideas, against the instinct that it really has nothing to do with your ideas. It has nothing to do with what you want to get out of it. It's not that kind of thing. It's too mysterious. In one sense, it's too unpredictable. But it's not about planning. It's not about making your life better necessarily. It's really about truth. It's about living truth. And when you've asked these three questions, the answers should point you to whether you're really willing right now to give yourself fully to this process. If you are, then my suggestion is go for it. Open yourself to it. Be willing to go through whatever you need to go through to breach those veils that have been there for so long. Because there is something on the other side. There is a living truth beyond what most people imagine is possible. There's a clarity beyond what I ever thought was possible. A peace that's pervasive and all-encompassing beyond anything I could have ever imagined. This is available, but it requires a heart-level commitment, a full-on opening to this process. So, is this for you? Well, this is for anyone who prioritizes it, opens to it, is clear about what they're actually engaging here. and is willing to see and investigate their beliefs about awakening, about themselves, about the world. If you are lined up that way, then this will go well for you. I can't tell you how long it'll take. I can't tell you exactly what you'll have to go through or how it will be to go through this process, because it's different for everyone. But I can tell you, you know the way through, instinctually. And if you stay tuned, you'll be dialed into how to follow that instinct rather than the instinct of the mind that wants to understand, think, analyze, conclude, label. So, good luck. And I wish you fruition.